Right. Well, here
Good
we
afternoon.
Are. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Weekend of sport.
What's
Not
that?
talking about it? Not talking about it.
I enjoyed some of the golf.
Formula One. No football. Didn't enjoy any of the football.
Anyway, so today's guest...
Who have we got today?
We have got Rachel Miles, funny enough, from Manchester.
From Manchester. So we can talk about football.
We can talk about football. Maybe it'll be a bit of a footy Manchester special. You know,
Ooh,
she's working at a place called Meanwhile, which is a new startup, very cool.
Based up there in Manchester.
Yeah, and there's a couple of lads from the BBC Creative, Tim and James, who are brilliant. And
Very
I think,
exciting.
Yeah, her and Michael they're the main team that have been hired. So we've been trying to get Rachel on for ages, and yeah, she's going to come down and tell us all about setting posters on fire. I think, which you were part of.
We were part of. Yeah, the team were part of it.
I mean, that's phenomenal. Why have we not asked you about it?
Oh, well, you know.
Oh, you're so humble.
There's too many projects to talk about.
And then there's the Tokyo Olympics, which should be great.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was all of the crafted posters inside. I must remember to talk to her about kind of the virtual poster world.
Yes, and she's promised us a pie each. So I'm going to do a sort of
pie each.
Yeah, so maybe an exchange. We give her some flapjacks. You know, she gives us a
flapjacks
pie.
for pies.
Yeah,
I like this.
I was thinking, I'm
starving as well.
Yeah, apparently not cooked though. So when she brings them in, don't start munching it.
Okay, right. I'll take it home. I'll go upstairs and get her.
Yeah. Rachel Miles, BAFTA-winning creative director at Manchester startup agency. Meanwhile. And bringer of tasty pies from the Northwest. Welcome to Behind the Billboard.
Hello, thanks for having me.
First of all, we have to start on the pies. Come on, give us the rundown of these pies.
Oh God, I am obsessed. I need shares in Great North Pie Company because
they're already advertising. I plugged there for Great North.
Oh my God, they've got a little cafe in Ambleside in the Lake District, which is where we discovered them, and they've got a little shop in Campus, which is kind of near Piccadilly. With a K.
Campus
very
with a K.
trendy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're so good. They've got a really thick crust, and every time I have a dinner party, this is what I throw.
So you go and get the pies from there.
You know the ones you've bought? Do we have to cook them?
Yeah, there's a little instruction inside, so you can.
Oh, I see. So we're doing everything
in 20 minutes.
Rachel, the engineer, said no more rustling, and Dan, you're already rustling.
I've gone straight to the pie.
Rustler.
So I brought two flavours. One's 14-hour braised beef and the other's Lancashire cheese and onion.
Right. Oh. So we'll have to fight it out. I have to say, I'm a bit worried that the flapjacks are going to be a bit usurped by the...
It's also setting a trend for future episodes, isn't it?
Actually, I've just thought, what about going to them and say, can we do some ads for you, Great North Pie Company? Because you're an advocate.
Yeah. They are so good.
Advocate.
It's just a natural. Just comes up. Right, anyway,
just rolls off
we're
the
already going off piece. Right, so got to do some Rachel Miles facts.
Facts.
Oh, this is so cringe.
This is such a cringe, isn't it? Okay, you can just look
this
away.
Is your life. It's that moment where...
So Rachel won a BAFTA for her Tokyo 2020 Olympics work. So I think there it just needs to end. We don't need to do anything more because that's fucking
Thanks
amazing.
for coming. It's been amazing having you.
Yeah, see you later.
That's an accolade.
So this was during a phenomenally successful time at BBC Creative. During 6 years at the B with long-term partner Michael Tsim. Is that you say? Jim, sorry. She created many. It's like you're not here. You've created many iconic campaigns.
Glad you can't see me because I'm going red as this sofa right now.
Including a billboard you set on fire for the Perfect Planet series, which it made the news, and I think it won just about every gone going. And we are going to talk about that just in a minute. Rachel's favourite things are, I've literally lifted off your website, martinis, Land Rover Defenders, and Nancy Myers.
Yeah.
And pies. We presume because
I love a good pie.
What's your favourite martini?
Dirty, 3 olives, vodka. Yeah,
I'm down with that. That's my favourite.
I'm a Negroni man.
Yeah,
I like it.
Is that like a martini? Sort of.
It's got martini in it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's Cinzano. Yeah, Cinzano martini and gin. Yeah. It's been a while. I had one at Christmas, or quite a few at Christmas.
I'll take my dirty martini extra dirty as well. Bit of extra olive juice in there.
Do you have a favourite bar around here? You go to?
He's not allowed.
You know what? It's not allowed in bars. It is my airport lounge go-to drink as well.
See when he's away.
Do they do good ones in the
In Virgin, they do, yeah.
Very nice.
You know, your wife's listening. You could be blowing all your cover.
She's definitely not listening.
She definitely
She's
isn't.
definitely 100% not listening.
None of our wives are listening. Well, if they are, hi, Rach, from all the Rach's. So, welcome to the show. How are you? How have you been lately?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
Good, thanks. Travelled down from Manchester this morning.
Yeah, nice and early.
I would always say I'm quite boring. All I do is watch telly.
You can't be boring.
I am.
You don't come across as boring.
You were at the zoo yesterday, you said
I went to the zoo. We have Chester Zoo as a client, so I've never been.
I like that stuff. What did you see? What was your favourite animal?
I think they were probably the aardvark, just because it's so silly looking.
Yeah, so alien looking, isn't it?
And then my partner, she really liked the giraffes, so begged me for a plushie at the end.
A what?
A plushie.
Oh, okay.
Like
soft
a toy.
Okay. We walked through the zoo the other day, me and Rach, because we're doing this walk along a canal to the Great Union Canal thing. So we're walking through the zoo because you go through the London Zoo bit, and there's 3 stages to a zoo, I find. You go in and you go...
you smell.
There you go. Fucking, this is great. We're in a zoo. Look at the animals. It's great. And then there's this beat, and then Rach looks really sad, and she goes... Why aren't they in the wild? Why are they? And I go, oh, fuck, here we go. And it's the exact same thing. We saw these monkeys, and I was going, oh, those look cool, don't they? And she's going, oh, no, here we go. Did you have that moment?
We did see some monkeys, and one monkey in particular was playing with its willy.
Excellent.
Willy, we said Willy on the show.
Everyone with their camera phones out.
Yeah.
You really got me going. I'm embarrassed now.
We did Port Lymph, which is a...
Is it a bit lymph?
It's down in Kent, and it's a...
It's hung in Kent.
Safari park type zoo, and they do lots of conservation work, and they release rhinos and gorillas back into the wild. It's really cool. Went down there for New Year's. But I took my 3 favourite Instagram photos.
I remember.
I think you've seen this. Yeah. So there's a tiger enclosure down there, and my wife and 3 kids, got 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 2-year-old, sat in front of this big pane of glass where there was a tiger on the other side of the glass, and they sat there. I took the picture, and just as I took the series of photos, the tiger got up on its back legs and put his top paws against the window, which rattled the entire thing.
Let me out.
So I've got an image of my wife absolutely crapping herself as she thinks the tiger's escaping and eating our kids. And I posted the series of 3 on Instagram, and I think it's my funniest moment in a zoo now.
It'd be like a nice 3-stage billboard, like reasons to come.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, right. So, Rachel, how is life at Meanwhile?
Yeah, it's so great. It's nice to be back with Tim and James.
So tell us how you know Tim and James.
So I worked with Tim and James for 6 years at BBC Creative. Right. They hired Michael and I all that time ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
and are you, because you're shortlisted campaign for Startup of the Year, which is very exciting. Which is really cool.
Very exciting.
I don't know who we're up against, though. Do you?
Nobody. You're going to win.
Do you reckon?
Oh, I hope so. No, I you must say hello to the gents for me. We were saying just earlier, when I was at BBC Creative, I obviously worked there at the same time as yourself and Tim and James, but we never saw each other because it was...
everyone was remote.
Yeah. Or you'd go in one day, and unless you worked with someone, you probably wouldn't have an interaction with them. You know, and that was sort of, for me, that was it. But you obviously knew the place really well, right?
Yeah, 6 years, and it was tough to leave.
Were you not going to be a lifer? Did you not tell me that?
I really did think I'd be there for life, but to be part of Meanwhile and help shape something, I just couldn't turn that down with Michael. So yeah.
And is there a big? Well, I suppose it's quite a small creative department.
Yeah.
Is it you?
Yeah. So it's Al, Tim, James, Michael and I, and then we've just hired Kat, who's a designer. She's ex-Leo's, so that's...
Oh, cool. What, Leo's down here?
Yeah. She's just moved back up north.
That's cool. So
And Chester Zoo is a great client to have. Yeah. They do some great out of home, don't they? They do special builds and things.
They are, and what they stand for is all conservation, which is fantastic, helping extinction, so...
Yeah, it's great.
Cause.
And what other clients are on the books that you're getting excited about?
We're pitching at the moment. Don't know if I wanted to talk
you better
about
not say that.
No.
Got Travel Supermarket, which...
That was mega. That was a mega win.
They really care about doing good creative work, which is, really.
Who were you up against on the travel supermarket thing? Was it
This was before I joined,
was it?
so I got nothing to do with winning the pitch.
Okay.
Or Tim James and Al. So.
Well, you were sort of nearly in the room, you sort of.
Yeah.
So we use this first segment to talk about the state of the industry, and you will have seen certainly on your route down today, lots of great out of home, I'm sure. But that started with the billboard at the end of your street.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Oh my God.
Give us a view.
I live in Castlefield, which is sort of the heart of Manchester. Would you say it was Shoreditch? You're familiar.
Sounds pretty cool.
Danny.
Wait, is it near the Northern Quarter? No. That's the bit I keep wanging on about. Northern Quarter.
Here's the classic United fan on the other end of the... doesn't know his Manchester
No, but there's a
geography.
bit called New Islington as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's sort of Ancoats area, and they've got really good coffee shops.
Yeah.
All press coffee.
There's a place, a little bakery that does this.
Colin?
I think this has
That's
turned
it.
into the
Yeah.
Manchester Tourist Board podcast.
So I was there with my
We've got
missus the other day, and
pies,
I'd been to
coffee.
Pollen, and I was like, you got to go to this place. And we come around the corner, and there's like the classic, about 500 people queuing
With
up
dogs.
to get a fucking croissant. But it's lovely around there, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's on the water, and
Right. So that's near you? No, kind of.
I mean, it's a 25-minute walk.
Oh, right, okay.
Castlefields more towards the Theatre of Dreams, sort of.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
just made him smile.
See, it's so good because Rachel's called Rachel. She's from Manchester. She loves United. She's a great creative. It's just like one of the best ever. But
this
what is this?
billboard
Yeah.
is at the closest billboard to the end of my street, and it's for KFC Tower Burger. Can you see it, Dan?
And it says at the top,
It's
Got it.
huge.
sheer vertical volume. Hold on. So what has happened here? Is that
So
actually...
that is a very tall billboard. I think it's owned by Ocean.
Right,
Yeah.
so it is legit billboard. It's not like what
I think it's fabric.
Pretty Polly did and turned it on its side. It's actually properly...
Yeah.
It's actually that size, yeah.
What are they called? Those fabric.
Yeah, it's a vinyl
Yeah,
print.
vinyl
Yeah.
print.
Okay. And is that the same one there?
Yeah, so this is a different angle.
Okay. God, you're
And-
great, aren't you? Give us two angles of...
And actually, this is where Soho House is being built at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So it's about a 7-minute walk from where I live, which is quite nice.
Oh, that's nice. So
I've
let's
seen this creative around. It's good. It's like a zoomed in tower.
we like it,
burger.
don't we?
It's good.
You've probably bought the best end of street. I mean, what do you think of it?
I really like this version, the sheer vertical volume. I took another photo on my drive when I was exiting the city, and it's a horizontal billboard, and it says finger licking lanky. I didn't really get this one.
Yeah.
Like, I love what KFC do. I think it's Mother, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the vertical ones were better.
Yeah, I think we put the vertical thing on our Insta feed when we saw it, because there was the McDonald's one where they did, getting you value for money, and they've sort of pushed the poster outside of the poster.
Onto the mural kind of site. Yeah.
Which is kind of unusual in the same month two fast food outlets do it. But yeah, I love what they do on KFC. I think they, the client must love it, right? It's like a massive shot of a burger. But
Yeah,
they still get an idea into it.
It stops that question. Do you think we can get the product in some way? Well, go.
I think it's great. It's just a bit fun, isn't it? And
Yeah.
burger looks good.
Yeah, I think, they
burger.
continually do good stuff. And then we've got,
Yeah.
bit of a United. What's this one?
So this is just a bit of a longer walk away from where I live in Manchester, but I thought I'd throw it in because I just thought it was really good, from Paddy Power, and it was quite topical. You can probably talk about it a bit more, Hugh, as a United fan, but it's an image of a scarf, and 25% of it is the United colours. And my girlfriend tried to explain this to me. The green and yellow stripes are the colours of where they used to be as United. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's also... Yeah, it's a bit confusing because they sort of associated with the Glazers.
Yeah, so
colours.
so the fan protest was the original colours for the team were the green and yellow, I think, and the fan protest against the Glazers when the Americans bought United was the fans started turning up in the yellow and green scarves,
Which is
right?
the old.
Yeah.
This is the original United.
Yeah, the original United, and now Sir Jim has taken a 25% stake. It's the they're getting their United back, I guess.
This is a Manchester specialist. And
really is.
But I
I did
liked
see
it.
this, yeah.
And they actually sold the scarves.
Yeah,
Did they?
really.
Yeah, they made a limited, a few.
That's cool. I think Paddy, I saw this and half me thought, I thought it'd been mocked up when I saw it because it looked. Martha, actually, my daughter, so she lives in Manchester. She's a United fan as well. She goes, "Oh, look, Dad, look at this," and I thought, "Oh, that looks like a comp," but it's not clearly, and it's just like a topical ad about football. It's nothing to do with betting.
Paddy Power love doing that though, doesn't they?
Yeah.
They react. Their social is all about reaction and relevancy. They've done some good stuff.
I mean, you've got 2 very good ads there, and at the end of your
Manchester,
street,
where it's happening.
That's all going on. Right. Okay.
What about on the way down? Did you see anything today that was stand out?
When I got off at Euston, there was I think it was a digital billboard for Toblerone. Obviously, Toblerone are triangular shaped, but it was for Mother's Day. And it was something about they're making diamond shape, something about a diamond necklace.
Okay.
That's all I can remember.
It's not a bad idea.
That Euston site for digital has just had a massive overhaul, so they've got a really big, long screen there now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Just opened up, so we did something for OVO on there that's reactive to the renewable energy and the grid.
Was that with Sachi?
Yeah.
Was it Ali?
Yeah.
Ali at Sachi? Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And the investment that's gone into that station is digitise everything.
Can I say something controversial about Euston Station and that? So when I used to go, because I'm going to talk about as a consumer, but as an ad guy. So I used to walk in and see all the train times and go like that, and there's nothing there now. And then there's these poxy little screens here.
What, for the train times?
The train times. And I was like, right, so the biggest and most important bit has been given to the advertisers, and I didn't see any work on it. It was just blank.
Is that basically what's happened in all stations, though, isn't it? They realised that
Waterloo.
Yeah.
Waterloo. But Waterloo seems to work. Anyway, so is there stuff up there now? And it's looking...
stuff running in there. It's good.
Okay.
I think because it's one of those destination stations they're trying to make out of London, they realise they've got a captive audience.
Yeah.
So they're investing heavily in the digital.
Have you seen anything... Because it's sort of becoming judgy time, isn't it, for awards? Have you seen anything this year you've thought, oh, that was good? Or
this year?
Or anything?
The only thing I can think of, I don't know if it was last year, the Barbie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Barbie
I think that's it.
So simple.
Yeah.
But so memorable, yeah.
Yeah.
That has to be. I think we got that as one of our best of the year.
Yeah, that was in the best of the year, wasn't it? Well, their entire campaign was great. They spent a fortune.
It's very clever.
Paint the town pink. It was a great marketing strategy. They just owned it. It was great.
I mean, Uber's been... Have you seen the Uber stuff?
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
So that was all around Waterloo, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're waiting for Kate to come from Mother and talk about that. She was due on, but she's worked on that. We're looking forward to that one. But yeah, I think it's... I mean, joking aside, it does sound like... I mean, whenever I go up to Manchester... The thing I love about it is I do love the outdoors, obviously, but there is a lot of, without sounding like an old fucking granddad, cool shit on the streets. There's loads of great murals or just street art, all around the centre, which you don't sort of get in London because London's like a load of villages. So you'd have to go and, bits of Camden on maybe like, I don't know.
You think it's just more concentrated?
Definitely. I remember going up in COVID and there was a lot of quite brilliant but hard stuff written about how people are being treated, which, again, I really like, quite a reactionary. And do you sort of feel that as a place to live? It has a beating heart, and...
What I really like about Manchester, you walk out and there's loads of fly posters. That's something that's like, whether it's for gigs or... fashion, like Celine do a lot of it, fashion brands.
Yeah.
I actually had a meeting with Jack Gart the other day, and what they're producing, they have great taste in creating some creative. Don't know, am I allowed to mention them?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
they're great.
Really
they're a good supplier for anyone who's looking at
Jack.
Fly posters. Jack, yeah.
So they are part of, is it Build Hollywood?
Yeah.
So you got Build Hollywood, Jack Arts, who do the fly postering, and then Jack, who do kind of special builds, and they're all part of, I think the guy's called Tim Horrocks.
They're all part of the same group. So
I think they've got
some of those some of the Build Hollywood sites will be for the big special build things.
Yeah. I keep thinking... So I'm asking Dan a question now. We should definitely get someone from Build Hollywood in, because whenever I see something cool, I go, fucking hell, that's that. So what are they? Are they creative? Who does their creative?
They're a media owner, effectively.
But do they write their own creative sometimes?
No.
Sometimes it's like art. It's art.
It's coming through creative agencies and media agencies.
But they must give
They're
stuff
like a media
over.
owner, so they have access to a wall and they'll give you access to it.
Because there's a bit in... sorry, going quite off piece now. We'll get back quickly. When I'm walking a dog in Hampstead, there's a bridge. And under the bridge, there's these like 3 48s in a row. They're fucking great. And they quite often just have like students work from like Central St Martin's or something, and I'm going, what's that?
Oh, that'll
no
be,
brand.
It'll be when it's unsold or they're doing a content piece.
But then, dare I talk about Arsenal? I mean, Dan's pulling a funny face because he's a Spurs fan. But there's 3 opposite the Gunner shop, because I walk the dog around there as well.
I know, I get a photo every time.
Yeah, it's of the dog doing something, which Dan insists I get the dog to do. But there's 3 in a row, and it's Build Hollywood, and they have some really cool shit there as well. So we have to get... Would we get someone from there?
Yeah.
Maybe? Anyway.
I'll sort that out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, I'll sort you out. Right, so, Rach. Can I call you Rach? Sorry. First Billboard. You've got... over-delivering again, as usual. We've got 2 here. We're going to start with, it's Luton Town. Tell us a bit about Luton Town.
Luton
about
Town.
football a lot, aren't we?
Yeah, just like a football special.
Football and Manchester special.
Luton Town. So I didn't know if this was classed as a billboard
Right.
or not, but Michael and I, our first ever placement was at VCCP. So
Okay.
Michael and I met at Central St Martin's, had 2 great tutors, Maggie Suter and Clive Chalice.
Maggie Suter, the wife of Peter.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
dream
Right. Very
dream
good.
couple.
Wow.
Yeah, love Peter as well.
Yeah.
So good. So when Michael and I were at VCCP, we were briefed, can you do something at Luton Town Football Stadium? And we've got these sort of banner sites. So I think we just come up with the idea of let's do a chant. We didn't know Luton Town at all, so just Googled a chant and here we are. I think it was on for years.
What's it say? So I read it out. It says,
I'm not going to sing it, but, or you guys can give it a go. But ole, 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 we are the town, we are the town. Because EasyJet sponsor Luton Town FC, so
because they're hubbed out of the Luton Airport,
Yeah.
I guess. Right.
That's pretty cool that you did that before you even got a job, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty...
Yeah,
I mean, it's
On
great to
placement,
see.
was that?
on placement. Yeah.
So who was...
That's definitely a billboard. I'd say that.
Yeah, I think it was up for. It honestly was the longest ever in length billboard I've done with Michael, and longest running.
Because it stayed up there for the entire season.
And who was your... who did you work into at VCP?
Do you know what? I can't even remember. Placements were just put on one table. No one really spoke to us.
You lot over there. And then what was the other one we were going to talk about? Oh, right, McCain. Okay.
Happy Days. So this was, I think Michael and I got hired. We're hired by this point at B&B.
Right.
Trevor Beatty's agency.
Oh, yes.
And I can't remember the brief, but they'd just done this really good one-off poster, which was about 100% British. And I don't know if you guys remember it. It had 4 farmers crossing some furrows, but it was like the Beatles doing the Abbey Road. Do you remember
that? Cool.
So they wanted to do another sort of poster about heritage. So Michael and I came up with the headline 3 generations of know-how, and then the O's in the know-how are like tractor shaped, and then we've got a big old tractor, a medium tractor, and like a baby tractor that's probably bought from Early Learning Centre or something.
Oh, is that a shoot? A real shoot?
Yeah, it was a real shoot. So we did this through Morgan Lockyer.
Cool.
Shot by Andy Green, who I think I picked him because he shot loads of Land Rovers.
I had a name Green.
And you got an obsession with Land Rovers as well.
So I think this was in Essex. I remember Charlotte, I think she owned Morgan Lockyer with Waldo at the time.
Right.
She got a potato farmer from down the road to deliver loads of potatoes. I remember her lending me some wellies. I remember there was a dead bumblebee in one of them.
It's great. And how soon into your time? Because you're at B&B, how long are you at B&B for?
2.5 years we were there for.
Because that's pretty, you produced really one of the most famous pieces of work there. I know we can talk billboards, but it was the TV ad for TUI.
Yeah, it was called Thompson at the time.
Ah, that's right, yeah.
And it was the Thompson bear, which had the smile, like the shape of the TUI logos.
Yeah,
so I think the brief was they wanted to move away from being called Thompson, and they wanted people to make it stand out. People were getting confused with Thompson and Thomas Cook, so they wanted to use the logo. So we just spotted it looked like a smile, and yeah.
It's a really great spot. Was it? Who shot it?
Tom Taghome.
Oh, Tom Taghome.
It was so. He's
brilliant. I've worked with Tom.
For creative.
Right.
Always wanted to work there, and was a little bit obsessed with Tom and Siri Bumford and all that lot. So we had Tom pitch, Siri pitch, and Ethan McCardle pitch on that job. And
wow, that's pretty cool.
Ended up going with Tom.
You've worked at some amazing places, like, B&B, BBC Creative, meanwhile, Ogilvy before that.
Ogilvy. We were only there for a year, but got to travel the world. Went to India, went to Singapore.
What were you doing when you were travelling? Were you actually doing any work?
Yeah. We were doing some briefs for Ponds and Comfort. So Comfort was out in Singapore, and Ponds was India.
This is brilliantly segged up. It's like you're reading our minds. So, because we were going to ask how you met Michael, your creative partner.
Oh yeah.
So is it at Central St Martin's?
Yeah.
Because that's, Dan was at Central.
Oh, were you?
It was a long time ago.
What did you study?
Graphic design.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I really loved it. And I think it's one of those places that it's about how much you put in is how much you get out.
Yeah.
The more you put in. And I definitely relaxed a bit too hard on my first year.
Could you get my water?
Okay. Whereas the second and third year, buckling down, putting lots in, I got lots out.
Yeah. What did you write your dissertation on?
I did. It was about how modern language was changing and how youth culture was impacting it. So it was about, actually it's quite apt now, how emojis would feature as part of our text. And the book I made, it kind of took the form of future language the more you got into the dissertation, so it was much harder to read. And I integrated numbers, emojis, and emotion into the text as it went through the book. So that was 2001.
Oh my God. You don't look old enough, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go.
That's nice. So yeah, how youth culture affects modern society and our language.
Was Central St Martin's in, because it's in Arch, well, it's in different places now. When you went, where was it? So
first year, second year was Southampton Row.
Right, in town.
Hogwarts building.
Yeah.
And then in our third year, we were at
You'd moved to King's Cross, so yeah, it was that year.
Because my daughter's there at the moment, and she's in Archway or King's Cross, so it's not quite as...
That King's Cross campus is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, she said that she uses the library there quite a bit.
It's
only foundation for her.
Oh, okay.
The main thing.
I did foundation, and that was at Back Hill and Eagle Court, which I don't think either of them exist anymore. Back Hill was shared with London College of Printing,
right?
And then the BA was up at Southampton Row.
Right.
Great. That was a great building, Southampton Row. I used to love that canteen as well. It was like subsidised lunch. It's so good.
So nicely teed up. So you met Michael over at McDonald's.
Yeah, we did.
So what happened? Your first term, and you just sort of bumbled into each other? Or?
So we met on the course. So in third year, in second year, you had to specialise in moving image, illustration design, or advertising. So Michael and I both picked advertising. That's where we met.
Right.
And I heard that he worked at McDonald's. And I love McDonald's. So I thought, oh my God, you work at McDonald's, you get discount. And that's what we bonded over. And then I think Maggie said we should work together because we had a similar idea for this live brief for Muller yogurt. And then we won, our idea won. And then
that was actually quite a nice thing about St Martin's as well. Those live briefs that came into the college. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
you get to work on those.
It's a little bit more heightened, isn't it? When there's like an agency and
but the briefing sessions were good, and there was also I specialised in design, but I got pulled in. A couple of my good friends were specialised in advertising, so they'd pull me in and say, "We're going to work on this. Do you want to help us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I'd start working on the designs with them. That was brilliant.
There's something about when you're at college and then you get a brief, and at the top it has the logo of the agency, and you go, "Oh, fucking hell,
a job!"
Yeah, rather than one of Tony.
But actually, what it is, they're getting free ideas out of you.
Yeah, you're thinking. Please,
I think there was a live brief for Sony one one year, and we all got to go to the Sony like headquarters.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
that was
Would you go back and give live briefs to students?
I used to more than I do now. I do that more with my college, Isle of Man College.
Yeah.
So I'm going home this weekend, and
Is that where you're from?
I am
Originally, right.
I'm from the Isle of Man, and we actually don't have any billboards there.
Really?
Well, that's a lie. We have one now, and it's owned by the local estate agent.
Brilliant.
So that's what I want to. That's a bit of.
But
a side
there's
hustle.
posters, right? There's kind of bus stop posters and stuff.
No. I think we've just got sides of buses, but my idea is to set up a bit of a side hustle, billboards in the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come over and do a
Corner
special.
of the market.
Yeah.
We'll do a live.
Definitely a gap in the market.
Live, yeah. But the shortest episode ever. Oh, bollocks. All right, Annie. Right, so we are gonna just jump into your work, and we're gonna go straight into. We have to start with the billboard that you set on fire. That's a sentence we've never said on the show before. I don't think anyone's ever done it. How did it happen? Because I was looking at it and reading it and thinking, I know all about this. And I thought, actually, no, because what happens is obviously you created this lovely set of billboards for the Perfect Planet, and then you subverted them. But did you do that straight away? What was the order? I can't remember.
Yes, so the brief, it was a new David Attenborough series coming out. I think there were 5 episodes in total. One was about the sun, one was about volcanoes, weather. Can't remember what the other one was. But the final episode was called Humans, and it was all about how we're having an impact on
it's great.
the Earth. So we created a set of, I think they were digital out of door. We decided to go down. And the whole idea was to then hijack them for the final
So you'd had that
episode.
idea before anything had run?
Yeah, it was, the idea we had was, humans are setting the planet off balance. So for the trailer, every kind of shot was of an animal walking, and then we edited so they matched up.
Right.
And then for the final episode, we tilted the trailer.
Yeah.
And kind of did a bit of clever sound design and stuff. But then for the final out of home, we kind of updated the digital billboards.
But the ones I'm looking at here, I'm looking at, I think it has it ripped through. So it goes a perfect planet, and it goes, but for how long?
Yeah,
and
so
behind
that
the
was
beautiful fish is some.
So this one was this was for the plastic pollution.
Yeah.
So there's loads of little fish, and then it looks like a plastic bag. This is an elephant, and then you see the drought because of what the humans are doing.
Okay.
You've got a little monkey, and then when it's ripped, you can see a forest fire. And I think this one was really off the time because there was quite a lot of forest fires happening during COVID, because that's when this was created.
So when this happened, so you're going along nicely and it's getting improved and that. And then did someone say, right, do a special build? Or were you and Michael all along wanting to do a special build? Or did you suddenly go, fuck, why don't we set one on fire? When did you get to that? How did you get to that?
Yeah, no one, I think the brief was just a rich celebration of Earth's delicate perfection. And obviously the client at the time, I think it was Chris Hooper at the BBC and Alice Gleason, they just let us do what we want, like just crack on. And we presented this special build, which is a 96 sheet on Rochdale Road in Manchester. So we had the thought of hijacking it and setting it on fire, which we didn't.
Oh, really? So
it looks like fire, but obviously the series is all about, being green and looking after nature. So everything you see on that billboard is environmentally friendly. So it's actually water vapor. And
no way.
We had to contact Greater Manchester Fire Brigade just to let them know it's not actually going to be on fire in case anyone calls 999.
Because that was on my list of questions. Did you get the fire brigade?
The fire brigade were called a couple of times, so
we didn't. We warned them beforehand.
So as an idea, but you had your idea, but you hadn't got to the fire idea literally yet, and then someone's go on. Keep going. Can you get us any more? And is that how you got?
I think we always had the idea. I think that came quite early on.
Literally set it on fire.
Yeah, the hijack.
And what was Helen? Because Helen was your ECD at the time. Was she like, yeah,
really
go for
supportive, and why are you looking at me like that?
No, because having worked there, I know you go so far, and then you're going to hit something.
Do you know what the most difficult thing on this campaign was? That see the black bar that runs across.
Yeah.
All episodes on iPlayer streaming now.
Yeah.
There was the whole rebrand for iPlayer at the time.
I remember this.
So actually the most difficult thing was originally it had to say all episodes iPlayer stream now, which grammatically doesn't make sense. So
all episodes iPlayer stream now.
All episodes iPlayer stream now, and that's what had been sort of signed off for the rebrand.
Right.
So the biggest sort of fight was trying to change that. Yeah.
So I have to look down.
There were a load of permissions that had to be jumped through that you may not have been aware of. The Grand Visual team,
because you were involved, right?
Well, not me, but my team were for sure.
Yeah.
Got a whole team who devote themselves to the special build stuff. So whenever you add anything to a billboard like this, and getting the permissions of fire brigades and councils and the media owners and the lighting solutions, you have to put everything in through basically like a planning permission portal type thing. So for extra lighting that you put on any of these units, because there's residents around there or people driving, or you have to put in all of the special permissions for it. And one of those things was making it look like it's on fire. So there's an LED lighting solution for that, and as you said, the mist solution for the smoke. And getting all of those extra permissions was someone's job on the production side.
Yeah.
And they had to go
you.
through. Yeah,
Thank you.
It definitely wasn't me, except one of my team would have been.
Because what I'm looking at, I actually thought it was on fire, because what's that then at the top right?
That is the environmentally friendly
And what's
vapor.
this bit at the bottom? It looks like someone's sheet.
I still think this could have been executed
What is that?
better. It looks like a little bit of a
It's where it's been
duvet.
ripped down, yeah.
But I think because it was all
It's where the post has been ripped down, yeah.
it had to be certain materials. So in a dream world, we would have had it look like paper.
It was falling on the floor, yeah.
like it had been cut in half. You know, the paper coming off the billboard.
Did you go down there on the night?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Yeah. Well, because it was COVID, we weren't allowed to have groups of people. So I dragged my partner along because we were in a bubble.
I done that.
To make it look like
there were people there, take photos. Yeah.
I actually went to view a flat opposite this billboard as well.
Right.
And luckily the flat was overlooking the billboard, so I got some really good photographs.
Oh, that's good. But then was it just for one night?
No.
Was it a few?
I think the vapor was only for one evening.
The lighting went on for a week and a half.
Oh, so what are you calling it?
The fire.
Yeah, the fire lighting.
But the vapor was only allowed to run at certain times. But the fire brigade were called. They had, I had it on the.
It's very good.
But I think it got pushed back. So it was supposed to happen on a Saturday.
Right.
But because of the weather,
there was a weather
too
problem.
windy, it had to happen on the Sunday. So.
Yeah, it's it's a brilliant campaign before this. It's a really clever idea anyway. But this is that thing where you get pushed into a really exciting space, don't you? Because you're winning really big awards, you're getting on the news, you're ringing up fire brigades. You know, it is it's just really, it's mega, isn't it? It's like those jobs where you go, how are we going to do that?
It was a joy to work on, and also because Sir David Attenborough was involved in the series, we got to do a voiceover with him, but it had to be remotely. But we were listening in, and we heard him go, "Oh bugger," when he fluffed up his line. So it was really
now was David involved? Did he know that you set a poster on fire? Did you ask?
No, I don't.
But like you said, having the out of home is a one of the more sustainable mediums because of energy regeneration and some of the materials they use. Having to have this as completely sustainable, all of that material there was environmentally
I didn't know
friendly.
that. That's amazing. Yeah, because it would have been really
It was
weird.
in the brief. It was in the brief to the team.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to Talon and Grand Visual.
And
Grant
Williams did all the design on this.
Yeah, you sent over the credits. We'll put those on. So after this, it got even bigger. So you went off and did something for the Olympics.
going for gold.
And winning that BAFTA. So I know the BAFTA was actually for. Actually, no. Before we talk about that, we just want to say we want to ask. So like on a job like this, was the brief just for you and Michael, or did it go to the whole department and then yours? How did that work?
It went to the whole BBC creative department. So Michael and I were just finishing up a Christmas project, and we didn't really have much time to work on this. And we were sat in the back of Factory sound studio just doing some sound design. And the thought for this, the Olympic side came from, what if heptathlete Katarina Johnson-Thompson was a gachapon toy, because she does 7 sports. So why don't we create 7 collectible toys of her? And all we had for that first meeting was a drawing of KJT as 7 different collectible toys.
See if I can find it. So I think you might have sent it.
I think it's in the film. There's something like that, yeah. Which we then created as a gachapon.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, so that was what you presented.
That,
yeah,
and then rounds and rounds of development. Idea got picked, which was amazing. I always wanted to do an Olympic ad.
Wow!
But then we were about to shoot it all. And then COVID happened. I was supposed to go to Japan on a holiday, and that got cancelled. So, it was over a year and a half in the making, I think. And when we actually did shoot it, the TV ad, we had to do it remotely. So I was sat.
So
there
you've not been?
No. No. Have you been?
I went on a job, and I'm actually going this year with the family. And Philip, this morning, I was looking at my Japan plan and thinking I need to ask you, because actually Michael went. Didn't you tell me?
He's been twice.
So all right. So after the show, you obviously, I'll have to talk to Michael and ask him.
Yeah.
Or you have to get him on the show, because he'll probably be a bit annoyed.
I've never been either. It's on the bucket list. Yeah, really. I want to take the family.
Yeah. I can imagine it's great for my wife lived there and she speaks fluent Japanese. That's why I
didn't know that.
Very
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
But so, I mean, we are talking about this, even though we know it's a TV trail, because inside this trail are a load of billboards. So this is another sort of first for the show, I suppose, in that we've never talked about
virtual billboards.
Yeah. And so it's quite exciting to get you in on that. So can you tell us a bit about how that happened and why? And I don't know where to start, really.
I mean, Tokyo is.
Tell me which slide I should have on, by the way. That one?
Don't really. Well, should go to the end. So the end frame of the film, you can see all the
that one.
Okay, sorry.
Neon billboards. And because the trailer was going to be the title sequence for the actual opening, like every day they show them.
Yeah.
On BBC Sport. So we wanted there to be something you can look at every time. So we put loads of Easter eggs in there. So there's one there that says Simone's Karaoke, and that's inspired by Simone Biles. We've got Naomi Osaka, and I think there was something where the tennis player where she was playing at the Australian Open and got attacked by a butterfly.
I remember
so because these were neon signs, I said to the directors, Factory 15, can you have a swarm of butterflies attacking this sort of neon sign as a little Easter egg? But something got lost in translation, so she's then got a butterfly behind her in this neon sign.
Cool.
There's Laura Kenny.
That's Laura Kenny there, is that right?
Yeah, Laura Kenny. It's a bit of anime. We created an Adam Peaty Fisher Warrior video game.
Right.
So, because he's got a lion tattoo in real life, we've made it into a lion fish. And because he's a swimmer, we gave him gills. And
well, you made the game for
one of the scenes.
Okay,
in the film, they go through an arcade, and then we use the design on one of the billboards.
Very cool.
So when you and Michael are doing this in BBC with a designer. Or were you working with the animators from the film?
Yeah, so Factory 15 were the directors. They're represented by Nexus, and Nexus also represent a designer, kind of art director called Uta. I think his full name is Fantasisto Utamaro. who's great. He's based in New York. So in the day, we'd send over some of our ideas and then he'd go away and design them. So it worked really well for the time scale and stuff. But
that's so cool.
Not just the billboards, but then we also had to design loads of posters for the bedroom scene.
Right.
We had to design all the gachapon.
What's gachapon?
Gachapon are really famous in Japan. Have you not seen them?
Am I here? Where am I?
Yeah, so
this slide, right? Sorry.
Gachapon are these toys. Sometimes you can see them in Sainsbury's over here. You know, the little balls, and they've got toys in. They're like collectible things.
Sorry, yeah.
So this one here on the left, you can see I wanted geriatric gymnasts. So there's some old ladies doing some gymnastics on their Zimmer frames.
Oh my god!
Got Katarina Johnson Thompson doing her.
So and all of these headlines are written in Japanese.
Yeah.
And obviously you didn't write them, but you said, "Can you translate this?"
Yeah. So one idea, another one I had was, bend it like bronze. So we wanted Lucy Bronze, the England footballer, as a neon. So yeah, we've got there's just so much here. These are all gachapon ones. So we've got boxing glove, pencil toppers. We have
so cool.
the England Lionesses as little binoculars because what's her name? What was her name? Ellen White. Ellen White was doing that famous.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Did you have the posters made as well, where they're all sitting in the film?
Yeah. So in the bedroom scene, you can see
them
Laura
on the
Kenny,
wall.
Yeah. And we had pillowcases made.
And where are these original? Has anyone got these? Because these are really cool original artworks you could have framed.
Yeah, I do have them.
Do you?
Not printed out though, because like spenny.
Yeah.
But you can have a look at these.
These are mega, aren't they? I mean, it's so much detail to go into the craft of this. What you've put into it, because otherwise, who would have done this? I suppose would you have left it? Was it part of the brief? I suppose because I suppose you're going right. We're creating a journey through a city. What's that city look like? Oh well, it's at the time of the Olympics, so it must be awash with all stuff. Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could have briefed that to them, but when I say them, I mean the animators, but they wouldn't have maybe had that knowledge you've got of the. Yeah,
it was a real team effort, and it was a joy to work on, just because you become a bit of a family, don't you, when you're working on something for so long? So everyone wanted to make it the best. We
talk about that a lot, our production families. When you work on one of those big projects where you've got 6 months odd of work, you kind of, and it all obviously concertinas towards the end. That first day after the end of Go Live, you're kind of like, family's kind of moved on. It's like really weird, isn't it? It feels a bit.
How come it was a year and a half? I know it was animation. Was it because of COVID? So you actually, was that to your benefit because you had more time?
We didn't know it was actually going to the Olympics was then going to happen.
Right.
So we just had to put it on pause and hope for the best. Fingers crossed. But it was from an art direction point of view, it was a joy to work on because Tokyo is such a visual city.
Yeah.
So coming up with loads of ideas and, even in the middle of the night, writing something down, like...
Give us an example.
Like you said, the posters and billboards are such a part of the fabric of Japanese culture, outdoor culture.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them. How does it work at the BBC with that stuff? Does you kind of come up with the theme for the trail and the film, and then does everything else spawn off that? So when they did do out of home posters and when they have done everything else to support the coverage of the Olympics, does it all come from the kind of the key art that you've come up with at the beginning?
Yeah, well, sometimes you can not have matching luggage. So for the Olympics, for example, we did all this in the trailer, but then the out of home, because the line was "Let's go there." We then create, and this was Geraint again, who did our Perfect Planet stuff. He and a guy called George Fletch designed their own typeface, and then we created regional ads. So let's go Katarina Johnson Thompson, and that was based in Liverpool, which is her home city. And we had to be kind of not clever, but we had to think who might win gold. So Laura Muir, she's a really good runner. will she win gold? And if she did, the billboard would change overnight to Laura's won gold, or yeah.
Yeah, this was nice.
Adam Peaty.
Yeah, he was basically nailed on, wasn't he? He's a bit of a legend.
But it was all dynamic at that point, wasn't it? So it would all automatically switch.
Yeah.
So what sort of stuff? Sorry, if you got an example of anything that you're coming up with in the middle of the night that you would remember? Like, you know, you're saying...
Go through my notes.
No, it's fine. No, because I sometimes get these things, think, that's fuck. I can't sleep, but that's a fucking great idea.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you're going, what?
Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of going to the pub. Like Paul Bannon, when we had a previous guest recently, Paul, who we loved, and Paul's in Dubai. But when I worked with him at JWT, you know, you work how people work. And he always said to me, come on, mate, let's go to the pub and try a few ideas. And I go, I'm really good at going to the pub, but not the ideas. I just want to get drunk.
It's like my game of darts or pool after 2 pints. Just gone.
Yeah. But some people thrive in that.
Yeah.
You know, do you and Michael work in a certain way?
We used to when
McDonald's.
Nice one.
When we were at B&B, it was quite dangerous because it was in the heart of Covent Garden, and down the road was Dishoom, and we. Have you ever had an old fashioned from Dishoom made with a bit of green tea?
I like their breakfast.
You took me for breakfast over. It wouldn't let me go in the evening.
Maybe don't have an old fashioned for breakfast.
Not unless
5 o'clock somewhere.
Not unless it's a bad day.
But I think Michael and I used to have about 5 or 6 old fashions, and we learnt to. The barmaid there got to know us and would just give us them for free.
Yeah, your 6 one's free.
But that's what we used to do, as well as go to. When we were at St. Martin's, there was a hotel down the road. You know, the St. Pancras.
Oh yeah.
Hotel. We'd just sit in the lobby and order hot water and lemon or something because we couldn't afford a coffee when we were students. And
yeah,
that's where we come up with the Teddy idea actually in that hotel.
That's cool. So you kind of. Because some teams also work better in certain places.
We were talking about that the other day, weren't we? Take yourself off and have a walk or go somewhere and just chat and be outside of the office.
I hate people listening in. And...
Oh, it's a nightmare, isn't it? It's funny because these agencies have these great big buildings and then no one wants to be in them because that isn't really where you get it is where you get ideas, but not all of them. And most of your inspiration comes when you're not quite turned on all the time. You're like on 70% and you're going, oh, that'd be quite interesting. You know that. Right, anyway, can ramble on about that. So what should we talk about next? So I'm going to go through the little thing. Oh yeah, this is our BBC. So this is another BBC project.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of a vested interest from my side. So I remember hearing about this. Really difficult brief actually to do. Like, because I wrote something here. A lovely campaign to remind the great British public of why it is indeed the British Broadcasting Company. You know, that's what it is. The BBC is the British, and you're going, do you know it's really good? And you're going, yeah. And I can imagine the briefs going, justify the licence fee, the government onto us, all that heat on it, I imagine. And
it seems to be seasonal, that, doesn't it? Yeah, the heat that goes on on the beeb for the licence fee, and they're trying to protect that licence fee.
Do you pay yours?
Oh, absolutely.
I'd pay double. But I remember seeing this bit, hearing about this bit.
I think it's one of the great institutions of our country.
It's the website I go to literally most because I know I trust it. The piece they did recently, The Truth, it's like, fucking hell, it is. The Guardian, or there are other newspapers available, my wife tells me. But I remember seeing this bit of work and just being so blown away, so jealous, so curious how it happened, right? So I know we're going to talk about the billboards in a minute, right? So for people who haven't seen this bit of work, it's about a 2-minute film.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderfully knitted together piece of monologue. I never know if it's monologue or dialogue. It's monologue. A dialogue is a monologue. I don't know. But it's a bit of talking, yeah. And but the edit points, they're just mega, right? So I actually thought, fuck, who's done this? Who directed it? Who edited it? So you're on our show, so we feel very lucky to have you on just on that.
A real team effort. It was Chris Vernon that cracked.
And Chris, I work with Chris a bit, yes, at BBC. Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. But for all of them, my question was, did you write the monologue and said, go and find some clips? Or did someone say, Rachel, Michael, Chris, here's a bunch of clips, sew them together? Or how did it work?
Oh, so Chris, the brief had been around for, I think, a year. And it was, no one wanted to touch it. And Chris Vernon came in, lovely Chris.
I got
and
a job for
cracked
you.
it.
Really?
He wrote an amazing script which opened with "Hello, you lovely lot," and I think it was Geraldine from Vicar of Dibley, and then it went on line by line, exploring the whole of the BBC from Bite Size to Peppa Pig in Welsh and that kind of thing. So the script was there, and then Michael and I were brought in to help craft it.
Right.
Lines changed as we brought in it was Seb Edwards and Sam Rice Edwards, so they're brothers, but Sam is an amazing editor at Assembly Rooms.
Right.
So he was the director on this, and bringing his craft to it, and the whole gang at Assembly Rooms really went into the trenches, went into the BBC archives, which was amazing to do, and we were trying to find the right clip, said in the right way, said by the right person, show diversity.
Yeah.
And it took a long time.
Yeah, because I was thinking
that is an undertaking, isn't it? When you've got a written script and then you have to go into the archives to find someone saying that exact thing in the right way.
Yeah.
And I bet it changed over and over again, and people going, "Oh, that was my favourite one." You can't, because there's one when they just go boring, which is really funny, isn't it? It's about the BBC's this, that, and the other, and it's Jodie Comer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Jodie. Yeah.
So, oh god, yeah, it's just a great bit of work. We should just whole show on that. But I remember, what was the bit I got wrong? Remember, I said to you, "Oh, it was AI." Something, because to search for clips, was AI involved?
AI, I think maybe, I'm not too sure. Basically, it was Ed Hobson and Caleb from the BBC side just going into the archives and typing in the words.
Because hasn't all the dialogue been digitised by AI?
Yeah. So it was, and then certain group of clips would be pulled, but then those clips might not have been right because someone blinked or I don't know.
We don't want Sir Jimmy Savile in this one.
No.
Yeah, very true. God. Frank Boff. Yeah, I mean, I think, I tell you what, it's worth it. Because you say, it's interesting you're saying it had been hanging around, because I suppose it was one of those briefs which the work could come out at any point, because it's always going to be an issue, like we're saying, oh, bloody BBC and a licence feed. And then you do it, and then it's like, oh my God, it just felt didn't feel like it was one of those, it just, so yeah, we should give Chris Vernon a big slap on the back there. So from there, these posters came out, which again are just so beautifully simple. So I'm going to just describe it. I like all of these so much. This is a tower block of flats, and the top left one says Super Bowl with a sort of graphic around the window that's lit up at night, and then the next one says Super Bowl, and then two sort of across and down one says Super Late Bite Size Revision. So it's showing you, the viewer, what goes on when you get involved as a BBC, the different bits it gives you, but in a really charming, funny way. The other one I liked, I know we're going to come back to them, was this sort of a beach. And on the beach, on the left-hand side, it says checking the news. Then halfway along the beach it says checking the sport. And then someone, of course, going checking the weather back home, which is what we all do.
Yeah.
Oh, bollocks, it's warmer at home. But it's like, there's some real truth behind all of this work. How did you... Because I can imagine it would have been a really complicated thing to do, like mention all the shows, mention the different ones. How did you tackle it?
Again, it was a team effort. So the one on the beach, that was supposed to look like it was abroad, but I think it was just a beach down south in the UK.
It looks abroad,
really,
to me, yeah.
Beautiful. And these are all shot by Sam Wright. So that one was, I think it was Jules Middleton, who's now at NCA, and Alicia Radia.
I worked as Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia, yes. That was Alicia's one.
Cool. Okay, let's look at some other ones.
So that was a tower block in Southampton. There are a few different versions of it. I think we had 10 Fabulous as well for the tower block one.
Oh, sorry. What is this? Sorry.
Oh,
I like it because it's obviously the middle of the night, and it's, there's someone up revising late, and there's two people watching the Super Bowl in the middle of the night.
It's basically to show there's a BBC for everyone.
Yeah.
So you had Silent Witness, Peaky Blinders, Line of Duty.
Yeah. That was another version that could have been.
Yeah, go on, keep going. And then you've got a little...
the radio one. So this was we had to cast different types of speakers for this as well, which was Yeah, really fun to do.
So
I think we had this in Manchester, so we had to obviously feature Champagne Supernova on Radio 2. We had Asian Network featured and Radio 3, but then we changed them so they were more regional. So if it was in London, it would be more, I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a flexible idea. The lemons is good. What's this got? Mary Berry's tray bake on a bunch of lemons. Then you move along Nigella's linguine a bit more, and then a Blue Peter experiment on the other one. It's like
what you can use lemons for.
It's just so good. It's so simple. It's 3 things. It's 3 words at the top. This is our.
Yeah, we did that one in Welsh.
Yes, I like that on the side of a building.
Yeah. Have you ever had Nigella's linguine?
No.
Oh, it's really good. It's on BBC Good Food if you want.
Is it good?
I had Nigella's nduja. Have you had that?
Is that pork?
It's spicy
sausage
pork paste with cavallonero. You know, the dark green stuff. And honestly, it's delicious.
It is in Highgate, obviously.
Highbury, yeah. But I actually had the second portion of it before I came here today. It's delicious.
Is it?
I had fully, and it's it's yummy. Right, okay.
I like the way she says microwave.
We wanted to get that in the
She doesn't say that, does she?
She does.
She does.
Do you not know that microwave?
Microwave.
I thought that was just a joke.
No. It's brilliant. She does it as a joke, obviously. She's not stupid.
Yeah. We should get her on. Have a chat. Oh, look. There we are. Another BBC one.
Yeah, that was Jules again. Jules Middleton. The mugs. So
mugs in a sink. Yes, tell us.
Eve Pink.
Mm-hmm.
Fleabag Red and Cat Slater Burgundy. I think there was another version.
Was that lipstick on the mugs?
Lippy on the mugs in a sink. A little bit of cake on the side. And there was another version of this, which was Vicky Pollard Pink, Davina DeCampo Red, Cat Slater Burgundy.
It's great, isn't it? It's just sort of never. This was one of my favourites. So 3 or 4 houses.
Yeah, this was a few cottages in Brighton.
Yeah.
Baking Nadia's muffin recipe, smelling Nadia's muffin recipe. About to be given Nadia's muffins. Again, that was Jules and Alicia, I think, that one.
So is Alicia still there? Because she was a single, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's still there. She's teamed up with Holly Nash, and they've just done the Traitors Billboard Fizzy Rosé. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, saw that. Yes, when I was I worked with Alicia on The Apprentice, and I think it was the idea to bring. It was like all the stuff by pointing is back and running in heels is back and all that, and then one of them was the theme tune's back. Oh, yeah. And so, without going into detail, I don't know if you were involved in this.
I remember it was
getting the orchestra
at
Liverpool Street Station to play the theme tune to The Apprentice. The theme tune's back, and then I don't know why it got really complicated. And there was a coffee shop, which was going to be the Losers Cafe, and then there was something. And I was leaving, and I just said, "Good luck."
Didn't they want to serve like crappy polystyrene cups of coffee and?
I can't remember. But if you're listening, Alicia, thank you for that. But you've got on to bigger and better things. Hair salon.
Jules and I bonded over this one because we both used to work in hairdressers when we were younger.
Very good.
The Winkleman Fringe, Bimini Mullet, and fundraising for children in need.
Yeah, I love that. It's so well observed. It's brilliant. And is it the same photographer on all of them?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to leave the BBC.
Are we all right on time?
Yeah, I'm sort of looking at Dan a bit on time. So you've got a meeting.
Yeah.
20
minutes.
When have you got to go to a meeting? Soon.
Yeah.
How long?
3:30.
Yeah, we've got 20 minutes.
Well, we've done all of it.
We've got a load through. Yeah. So,
well, this is okay now because we're going to be very up to date. You were going to be a BBC lifer. You're not. You went to Meanwhile.
Did you enjoy your time at BBC?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I did think I was going to be a BBC lifer, but it's nice to be back with Tim and James. And
are there many people there that are lifers? Are they do people get feet under the desk and right, I'm staying now?
I think so. It's a great place to work, and you get to make so many things. So, yeah.
Is Carly still there?
Yes, she is. Carly's now in Manchester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I have to come and say hello. Carly, I worked with on all my main projects, and she was an absolute joy. In fact, everyone I worked with there was great. I'd love to be back, but it's I did freelance for a year, and then I've been doing.
It's such a great hub, isn't it? The Manchester office. I think I think it's helped change the face of Manchester media wise. There's all of the and creativity, lots of it happening up there. It's been brilliant for the brand, I think.
It's really good. Simon's CD there now, Simon Lotz, who's doing great things.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I've been up to Media City to see my friend, my best mate Gaz, who runs Gas Music.
Oh yeah,
and he's worked with Beeb, and I think he knows Tim and James pretty well. I think they've been talking about stuff, and I think it's to their advantage, having been, local, super successful. That when they launch, meanwhile, they're like known.
Yeah.
So, and then you're there as well. It's all kind of fits. I imagine Meanwhile everything was good about it. There was nothing. I imagine there was no question. Is that right? Fair to say that when you went there, you thought, "Fucking hell, I've got to do this."
Oh yeah, it's an opportunity I couldn't say no to help shape something, and yeah, you don't get offered that every day. I actually spoke to Noelle.
I know Noelle. Yes,
I used to work with Noelle at Ogilvy.
Oh right, so she was at Neverland before I was.
Right.
Oh God, it's a small world, isn't it? You must always be nice to people.
And she obviously, Noelle helped shape Neverland, and she just said it's so rewarding watching something grow. So.
Yeah, that's cool. And also, you're in really at the beginning. I mean, if you go in later, it's just a different vibe. I think, now I went into Neverland recently, and it's 50 people.
Yeah.
It's a good size, but I think it'll continue to grow and grow. Well, I mean, you're like that. You started your own. Dan started Grand Visual, just you and Neil, wasn't it?
You started, Dan?
Yeah, it was there was three of us at the beginning. Yeah, it is interesting. We're 18 years in now as well. I've been through a couple of rounds of change, obviously, but yeah, it's like having another child, though. You watch it grow, and you see people come and go, and your teammates come and go. It's just. It is massively rewarding going in there at the beginning and being there and seeing the projects come and celebrating those wins as well. So you said you're pitching a lot. Like the big I remember the early days of GV when we win a big pitch, it was, right, I'm going to shut the door and go down the pub. And there really is that sense of camaraderie, I think, which helps shape the culture of a business that's small and growing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that trust as well, like knowing Tim and James. Having that trust is really important, I think. Yeah,
because they've worked together for years and years.
Yeah.
And have you got Bears in the building? Has he? Bears from Happy Mondays?
Bears. No, he got fired when Michael and I got the job. So.
I kept seeing him on things. But okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about your stuff. So there was one campaign we're going to talk about. Meanwhile, for Live Share.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about this, because this happened just before Christmas, right?
Yeah, so I think this is my first week at Meanwhile. Don't do things by half. So first week in, I think I just got back from LA for a nice holiday and went to a wedding out there.
Right.
And for the wedding, we had to go and get some flowers in downtown LA, and it was terribly sad to see the homeless situation, which was really sobering. And upon my return, just had that at the front of my mind. And then I think Bart from Blink was up in Manchester this day, and we've been chatting to him, and he was asking what kind of projects we wanted to do. And I said, I really want to do something about homelessness, because it is really bad in Manchester as well. I think 1 in 74 are homeless, which is huge. And then after speaking to Bart, Michael was just flicking through his Instagram and said, have you seen this? Chanel are going to be in town doing their Métiers d'Art collection, which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is, couture. And they wanted to do that on Thomas Street, which is great for Manchester and everything surrounding it. But again, I was just said to Michael, well, some people can't afford to buy clothes, let alone high fashion. We need to do something to help raise awareness around this. And I just said, well, why don't we do a collection of our own? And that was it. We mocked up some things. I messaged LifeShare on Instagram and had a call with them. And then, it took 3 weeks to make.
3 weeks, is that all? Oh my God.
And we don't.
And you had the date because you knew you needed to be reactive to what Chanel were doing.
December was the day of the Chanel show. So that was the kind of, that's the day we needed to go live. So it was just, Michael was in Japan. So
on a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just me producing and then Tim doing the artwork and design.
Wow.
But so grateful to all the media companies in Manchester for just donating their space, really. So Lucy Gugas at Notorious, which used to be Love Sugar Science, she really helped me on this. And we even went to Knowsley because we got some Metro cover ups for free. So we went to see them get printed the day before it launched.
Some good lines here. Sans vêtements.
Sans vêtements. So the cover up of the Metro is just a rail, and then going through the O of the Metro is the rail, and then empty hangers. And it just says the Autumn Winter 23 collection life share. And on the inside, it just says donate trousers, waterproofs, coats, jumpers, joggers to Manchester's homeless. And Rankin did all the photography on it. He donated his time as well.
Wow. And was it successful? Did you get a response?
Yeah, so the increase in donations, I think, was 60%.
Great.
So there was a massive spike.
It's really good.
Yeah, it was blown away.
Lovely.
Actually.
It's lovely doing that because you kind of, you're going into a new agency and it probably was pretty full on. But I always found, the way to meet people and the way to understand an agency is to work with them, because all this theory like, meet so and so and talk about how you get on. And I remember at Neverland just thinking, let's just do some work. And then the quicker you work with someone, we go, oh right, you're this sort of person, or this is how we're going to operate. And I imagine that got you straight in. And
it's also the media owners as well for you. The media owners donating space is a great way to meet the community. And then it's because all the media owners want great work to appear on their screens and sites, because they make more advertising money out of it.
Because you're making a bit of a splash, I suppose, in Manchester. You're not just doing some great work for a client. You're in the local arena asking people to be involved, and the people go, oh, we remember Rachel and Michael from Meanwhile. Great, let's get on. Yeah. So we were going to talk. Are we allowed to talk about this or not?
Yeah, you can.
We can't. So the last piece of work is Travel Supermarket, and there's a brilliant poster which isn't going to happen.
It's not happening.
Something is happening.
Oh, okay.
There is one happening.
So Travel Supermarket, the line is a supermarket for travel, obviously. It doesn't need any more explanation. So the whole idea here is a billboard in the form of a shelf wobbler.
The biggest shelf wobbler you've ever seen.
Steve, the client, totally up for it. It was about to go into production, but because of health and safety, loads and loads of rules, the wobbler wouldn't have been executed well. So we ended up having to.
Please, come on! It's going to be a bit of paper, isn't it? You've set a billboard on. This is where I kind of go, hey, I set a build on fire. I know what I'm doing. We can do this. Why? Really? You can't do it?
Yeah, I think it was health and safety. Maybe a budget thing.
Let's have a conversation after this.
Yeah.
If you make the wobbler happen.
Because also, it's the kind of thing. Well, it's well, if we can, it's sort of thing actually people would do with AI, wouldn't they? You could just bob that up. But you don't want to. You want to do it because you want the wind to take it.
Manchester breeze.
I've seen so many of these things now, and it's really disappointing. There's the great ones have a base in reality for those AI pieces and the CGI. Whereas the ones that are just so out there and fake, you just go. Oh.
But surely you could do this, say like
Marks and Spencer seem to be throwing everything on CGI out of home now, and it's just it's not it's not actually rooted in any.
No, when I saw this, I was just, please make that happen. It's so cool because
that needs to be real. That needs to be something physical.
Their offices. I bet you've already had this conversation. Anyway, well, look, so you have come up with a solution. Which is very funny. Actually, should we talk about this or not? Because I think
we can talk.
We're allowed to talk about it. Yep. So
we're doing this instead, which is as exciting, if not better.
I think it's great.
It's really cool.
loads and loads of inflatables piled up on a shopping trolley. So we've sourced a shopping trolley that's got an orange bar. It's all like travel supermarket branded.
Nice.
So we're just we're creating this with Jack, which are part of
Build Hollywood.
Build Hollywood. Yeah.
Brilliant. It's going to be
As
cool.
a physical build.
As a physical billboard. So I think it's probably out now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually, it will be really colourful and stuff. It'll be lovely.
We did something with
Just silly and fun.
with John Lewis last year where with the balloons, the kids holding the balloons, and it looked like it was ripping the billboard off the wall.
Yeah, great.
Really colourful, use of inflatables. It was great. Yeah, that's going to be absolutely amazing when we see that for real. So you must send it to us and we'll put it on the feed.
Yeah, I'd love that.
So we're going to finish on your favourite billboard. So I know this has been very painful for you because there are about 500 keep coming in out the deck. I was thinking, shit, shall I close the deck yet?
It was so tricky to answer.
You're allowed more than one. You can have 2 or 3.
Because I would have said economist, but everyone says because I love Peter Suter. I actually got asked Peter Suter to be our ref when we were doing our Central St Martin's degree show. He was our referee when we did a pitch thing against LCC.
There's some very not great economist ads.
I saw it. Ooh. For fact's sake, was it?
Yeah.
Didn't the Guardian do?
Yeah, and then there's another one. Even if that, but you just look because we're always talking about the Economist on this show, and we just had Paul Brazier on the other day, and we're talking about it. And you're looking at it. I got the book out the other night. I've got it at home. The well written and read, and it's every Economist poster out, and it's you read it and you're going fuck, it's and then you sort of go on your your social feed and you see that and you're going what. I don't know. It must be so frustrating for people there and not there to see. Anyway.
But my favourite billboard.
Okay.
I have got 2.
Yeah.
This was the first one I thought of, and it's for Specsavers, where instead of a horizontal 48 sheet, someone should have gone to Specsavers because it's the wrong way around. It's vertical.
John and Bertie, we had them on. I mean, I would say this is one of my favourites recently.
It's just really fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's visual gags, great. It's got the line because everyone knows it. I had a client, we did the production on this one. Had a client come to me, I think I've mentioned it before to you, Hugh, that they saw this and said, right, we want something like that, please. And I said, well, okay, what's the brand? Tell me more about the brand. And they were a tech solution for something. Didn't have 20 years of using that line across, or it wasn't in our vocabulary. And I said, you can't just come and say you want one of those, please, because there's nothing to embed that idea in your comms. So it's something that's inherent to them.
Yeah.
And that idea being there for the 20 years that's gone before it that's only possible for the 20 years that's gone before it, I think. And that's why it's so good. I
remember we talked about it with Lee Bofkin, and that obviously this idea could have run quite a long time ago, but there's the craft of the way these were put together is the thing, because everyone goes, oh yeah, that upside down poster.
We talked about the ladder one in particular.
Ladder
they
one,
wrapped the vinyl around the ladder.
It's a bit like, I don't know, a bit like your Tokyo stuff. You could have done that, and it would have been an okay thing, but anyway, right. That Dan's looking at his watch again, and this one.
So I think this is probably my favourite billboard because they change them every week. Yeah, and it's for Netflix. This billboard I think they're called marquees, and it's
in the US.
In the Sunset Strip, Sunset Boulevard in LA. So the first ever execution they did was "Don't give up on your dreams. We started with DVDs."
Right.
And on the next slide, I've just put a bit of a montage of them. So when I was there in October, it read one word to describe David Beckham's life: goals. And then they have a little bit of fun. So for Bridgerton, they've got the Bridgerton typeface: dearest, gentle reader, hold on to thy wig, ... So this is probably my favourite because if I was stuck on a desert island, I think I'd want to see this every week.
It's the classic. So Netflix have done amazing stuff in the US. They've actually become a media owner in their own right in terms of billboards. They've bought out some out-of-home companies so that rather than now going to buy billboards, they own them. They have their own sites, and it means they can do interesting stuff like this.
Very cool.
And it certainly is very US kind of messaging in front of the church as well. It's quite fun.
What was this? Yeah.
And then
What's that one?
this is a Netflix marquee in Rome, and actually I got to see it in real life. Everyone was looking at the Trevi Fountain,
Right.
but opposite the Trevi Fountain, the marquee lives. So I was staring at the billboard, whereas everyone else was looking at the Trevi Fountain. So the power of billboards.
There you go.
And what you've got a little tip for people for billboards?
Oh God. I mean, I'm not. I was made an honorary fellow last year by my old college, and I had to do a speech and give advice and
Good.
way out of my comfort zone. But my speech mainly focused on thoughts become things. So I'm a big believer in if you think you can, and hustling to make it happen as well. Like if it's through my life share work or working with some of my heroes, just. Yeah, if you think you can, you can.
Yeah.
Thoughts become things.
That's nice.
Right. I mean, that's a really good, that sort of sums up a lot of your work. A lot of it is really audacious. So you must have a very audacious stuff going on in your mind, like all of us.
I guess another bit of advice would be memorable. Like Clive Chalice and Maggie Suter used to say that at CSM, so being memorable. And I remember being a student at St. Martin's, needing a job. So I love musicals. So I applied for a job at Wicked, and I'm not a drama student, but I tried to stand out amongst the crowd. So I printed my CV on Alphaba green paper. So obviously Alphaba's green in Wicked. So, and then I got the job as an usher. So
that's good.
Yeah, so be memorable.
Great. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being memorable here. I mean, it's been just a joy to listen to all your stories and hear about, obviously, Michael.
Yeah, keep the memorable work coming because it's great and it's very exciting to see what happens at Meanwhile.
Yeah, we'll come up and do a special.
Yeah.
The Manchester another Manchester special in Manchester.
In Manchester.
We get to eat our pies. So thank you again for our pies.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, wasn't that brilliant?
That was great. That was really good.
A Manchester special.
And I'm even more hungry now looking at these pies. They've been smelling these pies. They smell really good. The Great North Pie Company.
Yeah, I have to say,
I do love a pie.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel's so lovely. Thank you so much.
So humble as well.
Yeah.
She was I will be honest, she was quite nervous about it because she's not done many podcasts before.
Yeah.
But
she was amazing. Just like
brilliant.
natural.
Yeah.
Just
so,
like you
and
say.
how you can reel off the credits on projects that the years gone. I couldn't remember.
I think that's a lesson to all of us. But no, it's great. And hearing about just all the stories about the BBC. I mean, obviously, she's at Meanwhile now, but that's, the bulk of, where she's done all of her great stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not to belittle BNB or Ogilvy, but she really was prolific at BBC Create.
Well, it had to be for Meanwhile to come in and go, we believe we can help. We can help shape our business.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so thank you, Rachel, so much for coming in.
Safe journey back up north.
Aye.
Thank you again to our sponsors, Talon and Grand Visual, who keep us on air and keep you lovely lot listening to us.
Yeah, and thank you, Dan, for just being lovely as well and listening to me.
I do like listening to you.
Fuck off.
Your words ring around my head every night. No, thank you to Soho Radio, Adrian and Rachel in the back room, not listening in.
Yeah, just there's some snoring. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks again.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.